We're here to teach you about things in life. Welcome to How to Survive.
Hi, everyone of the internets.
God.
I'm Tori,
I'm Jess.
I'm Mackenzie.
and we're here to talk to you about piercings.
Yeah. So, just piercings in general. All three of us have some sort of body piercing, and,
Decided to tell you guys about our experiences with them and kind of tips before you get them.
because that's important to know.
So the first thing you want to do is make sure you actually want to get a piercing. And part of this is researching it and like how to take care of it after you get it and just everything that's involved with getting the piercing.
Because if you don't know that you want it, and if you don't do the research, because you need to know how to take care of it afterwards, and just...
You need to commit to taking care of it.
Yeah.
And actually want to be able to take care of it and have it, because otherwise it's a waste of money.
Which leads us to the next thing, which is the cost. So mine was $55 and I have a navel piercing.
My Monroe was $55 and my bar piercing was $75.
My nose was 55 as well, so yeah. But make sure you have enough money to do this. Don't go in there and be like, yeah, I want this, and be like, oh, no.
That's way more than I expected,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Also, main thing, make sure when you do get it done, you either know where to get this or you get it while you get the piercing, and it's saline wound wash. It's basically just salt water that you use to wash piercings so they don't try to heal. You don't use like peroxide because that opens the wound.
And it's not good for the metal of the piercing either.
And also you don't use like
Alcohol.
or
What's the other thing?
the creams.
Creams. Like
polysporin.
Polysporin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't use polysporin. You make sure you use saline solution. And if you can't buy it, salt, water, you have it.
Another thing you should do before you get a piercing is research maybe shops near you where you can get them done. That's another part of the cost. You might want to know exactly what it'll cost at a certain shop. Or
And you also want history of people who have gotten it there, or maybe ask your friends who do have piercings for any suggestions, because you don't want to go into a random shop and say, give me a piercing, and have it get infected because of how it got pierced, and it has nothing to do with you taking care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, we went to a shop in Ottawa. Tori was the first to go, and she got her piercings done. And then the second time, she went with Jess.
And I got my nose, and she got her bar.
And then the third time, I went with them, and I got mine done. So we all knew it was a very good shop because we all got successful piercings from there.
Oh, and the piercers were wonderful, so don't even worry about them.
Yeah, so we actually have clips to show you of Mackenzie getting her navel done, because when me and Jessica went to get our bar and her septum done, the piercer we had was not comfortable with it, so we didn't videotape it. We took a few photos and we'll show you those. And this is kind of our opening for
Here we go.
where Mackenzie's video will go.
Now let's go to that video.
Do you have any questions before we get started? No, you're good. So, like I said, you're just going to feel a bit of pressure from the clamp, then you're going to feel a tiny pinch from the needle, then I'm going to put the jewelry in, then we're going to be all over
It's just like getting it normal.
Less than that, yeah, cool. Alright, so I'm just going to, that's perfect. You just slide over a little bit over towards me. Awesome. Alright. So I just want you to take some deep breaths. Just try to relax. And just take a deep breath in and let it out and just keep breathing. And that's it. Awesome. How are you doing? Good. Good. Great. Awesome. Now you can laugh all you want to.
And you're back.
Hey again!
So another kind of generalized thing we're going to talk to you about today in our video is our experiences with getting piercings. So I got my Monroe done maybe a month before Jessica got her septum and my industrial done. So I got mine done, and it was kind of spur of the moment, but it was something I'd been asking for in advance. So my mom took me before my meeting with my job kind of thing. So I got it done. I thought it would hurt a lot more, to be honest. It didn't hurt all that much, and it was fairly easy to take care of. It got a little swollen, and then it was good. With mine and Jessica's septum.
No, just talk about your bar.
Okay. With my industrial, it hurt as much as I expected, which was a lot.
Her face was hilarious.
It hurt like a son of a gun. It felt like a bullet going through your ear twice, and it hurt. So industrial, you have to have a high pain tolerance to get one of those done because it is 2 holes at once, and it is very common that depending on how it's stabbed through, it can break your cartilage, which it did on mine, which wasn't too big a problem. It healed. It's fairly healed now. So, yeah.
So I guess I'm just going to talk about my septum, and, well, the reason why I wanted to get it was symbolic, I guess, which is a little weird to say, but I'm not going to go into that. When I got it done, it wasn't as bad as I thought, because, like, I was sitting there, and I was really anxious about it because I have a fear of needles, and then all of a sudden the needle was through my nose, and I was okay, and it didn't really hurt that much until after, when the actual ring was in and I was watching Tori get her bar done. However, I bled a lot, and the piercer said it wasn't common to bleed as much as I did, so
But
yeah.
that has things to do with
That's
your
just
history.
that's just my body, so it'll depend on the person.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I went for mine, I guess I was more nervous than anything. The main thing is to try to make sure you don't get too panicky or flustered when you're going in there. Just try to take deep breaths, relax, and before you know it, it's going to be over. Probably the worst thing when I was going in there was seeing my friend's facial expressions as the needle was going through me. Yeah, so like right as they go in through the bottom, they start to twist it a little, and I will admit that it hurt a little.
It looked worse than it was, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely looked worse than it actually was. It's like a little bit of a twisting pain, and then it's over, and they have the belly button piercing in, and I absolutely love it and don't regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't think any of us regret, just in general.
No,
Yeah.
I'm very happy
So
with ours.
realistically, with belly button piercings, there's a lot of muscle in your abdomen, so that's probably why it takes more force to get it through.
Tougher
Yeah.
skin and all
Depending on where you're getting it done, like if you're getting dimple piercings, be aware that there is muscle in there and that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
If you're getting a Monroe, it doesn't hurt as much as you'd expect because there is very little, like, there's not
Yeah.
that much muscle, it's just a little
Feel
bit
your
of skin.
face.
Yeah. So
Pretty sure eyebrows don't hurt a lot.
eyebrows are a little more painful than what a bottom lip piercing would be,
Yeah.
as far as I know, and cartilage is one of the most painful things to get pierced.
Which is why probably the side of the nose is going to be more painful than the middle.
Because with the septum, they go between the cartilage and the bone.
Go ahead, stick your fingers up your nose, and you'll feel there's a piece right in the front, but then there's a gap between it.
Although
So-
there are some people that have more of a
Yeah.
perk to their nose that
So-
can't get it done as easily. So, yeah. And then my industrial hurt a lot. It's 2 holes through the cartilage, and it does hurt.
Oh, and also one last thing, it's not very typical for your belly to bleed either, because mine didn't bleed at all. It's just going through a little portion of skin and probably a little bit of fat, depending on your body type. But
Cartilage piercings don't bleed all that much.
No.
They bleed more when you're cleaning them and things like that, and if you play with them too much.
Facial ones are the most likely to bleed, probably.
Yeah. Although my Monroe did not bleed very much at all. It was like a drop of blood.
I had blood built up in my nose the next day.
Yeah, I know.
It was terrible.
She basically had it dripping down the side of her face.
I actually thought that the piercer had saline on their gloves still, and it was just dripping on my face, but it was my blood, and that was a little shocking.
And I think we should leave it there, because if
Yeah.
you aren't good with blood,
Yeah,
you're
sorry,
probably not
we
going to enjoy
apologize.
this conversation. So-
in every video from now on, we'll have trigger warnings in the description below. So,
Yeah. So beware of that, look out for that. We are going to go into different topics, obviously. We are thinking of different ones based on family situations
Yeah.
and life
And-
history
and what we've all gone through. So,
as individuals, obviously. So you will see some individual videos instead of a big group sitting on a bed talking.
again and again and again.
And we also appreciate if you do leave comments, because it is personal things that we're going to be talking about. Please don't say anything that could actually like trigger us.
So leave comments if you have any questions about our experiences.
Check out our Tumblr.
And definitely check out our Facebook page, our Twitter, if you really want. No one's been posting on our
Nope.
Twitter yet. So, check out more our Tumblr or Facebook, and we'll see you next time.
Good luck with future piercings.
Bye.